Hello and welcome to another episode of Streaming Without a Paddle. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Ted.
This week, Ted and I took on Fear Street, Prom Queen.
Welcome to the 80s.
What's the name of the town again?
Oh, what is it? Shadow? Something weird.
Everything
it's
bad
the same
happens
shady,
there.
Shady side.
Shady side.
Shady side.
Shady. And that's
the
all
town
right there,
in
Shady
every
side.
single version.
Right. Nothing goes wrong there.
Yeah, it's like, oh, all these terrible things have happened for generations. We should live here.
Right. Let's be oblivious to what's going on.
Yeah, it's like, hey,
let's
every 10 years, we're just going to stay home for a month or two.
It's a joke. It's a joke. Death is a joke in Shady side. All right, Ted. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll run through the cast here because I think this is probably the best part of the movie, in my opinion.
Oh,
India Fowler, Ariana Greenblatt, Ella Rubin, Susanna Sun, Fina Straza, David Lacano, Chris Klein. I think they do this on purpose just to screw with me. Yeah.
Chris Klein. Oh, Chris Klein.
And let's see here. You know, that's about it, really. I mean,
Catherine Waterston.
Yeah, Catherine Waterston.
And Lily Taylor.
Yeah. And, well, if we're going to do that, you got to say Ilian O'Driscoll. Ilian O'Driscoll.
And Rebecca Black.
Black, yeah. Yeah, she dies, so.
They all almost die.
I mean, nobody was spared.
Not on Fear Street.
All right, Ted, tell our watchers and listeners what this piece of art's about.
It is the prom, and all the popular girls, or the Wolfpack as they're called, are all nominated for Prom Queen, and the one outlier, Lori Granger, whose mother killed her father because I believe he was trying to kill her.
Not a clue.
Yeah, so that happened, and then a slasher is on the loose, killing the prom queens. That is to not give anything else away. That's it.
That's it. All right. Yeah. Story picks up. It's the end of high school. Prom's rolling around. And we got, five girls, 5 young ladies nominated for Prom Queen. And they start dying off one by one.
One is the art chick, one is the local pot dealer, and the rest are the Wolfpack.
And and one's the loner.
Yeah, the art chick.
Oh, that's she the art chick?
I mean, she wants to be a writer, artsy.
Oh, okay. All right. So, but she didn't fit in anywhere. She had one friend.
Apparently, you can just run for prom queen.
One apparently. I should have done that.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know where to start with this. Oh, I do. I'll tell you this. I will say, the actors in this movie, if I'm reading everything correct, range from the age of 16 up to 28.
Okay.
Are the ages. And my one exception to the rule was I've got conflicting reports on the principal, India Fowler, who plays Lori Granger in this thing. I got some conflicting reports on her age. Some things say she's 16 and the others say she's 38. So
She's probably 16.
I was thinking that she was more 16 because if that's her at 38, good for you.
Way to go.
Holy
moisturizer.
Crap. Yeah, right? But I thought all of them did a good job for what they had. I mean, to work with.
Yeah, I thought that the acting was good in this movie. Chris Klein's in a weird, different movie than everybody else. But other than him, yeah.
Yeah, and this was written and directed by Matt Palmer. You're probably not really going to know him. I didn't know him before this movie. He's an English filmmaker from Birmingham, UK, residing in Edinburgh, Scotland. He's known for writing and directing feature-length horror and thriller films, and that's all according to his IMDb. So, but you go through and you look at his IMDb, and I'm only finding 2 long forms programs.
That's the same thing that happened on the other Fear Streets.
Yeah, and then the rest of them are shorts that he's done, written and directed. So, and or directed. So that I don't know his age but I guess since we brought him up, let's talk about. I didn't think the direction on this was very good.
I didn't think much was done.
Rocky, do we have a insert where we can, the backing up like of a 5-ton production truck, the beeping sound?
It had some production value.
I'm going to put that in there, maybe in the edit. But all right, and what that truck is unloading is a lot of movie magic.
Yeah, there's no shortness of movie magic in this.
Yeah, I found it very nonsensical at times. I don't want to, spoiler or not, I mean, this is just the perfect example, all right? The severed head of one of the high schoolers, I'm not going to completely spoil it, but one of the sever heads of one of the high school students ends up in the punch bowl at the prom. Early on in the prom. And guess what?
What?
The prom must go on.
That was the funniest part.
There was no cops called. There was no screaming. There's a severed head of one of their fellow classmates.
And nothing is done.
In the punch bowl, and nothing is done.
Because it's fake.
Nothing is done.
Yeah, that's because it's fake.
What's fake?
The head.
Was it fake?
Yeah, the girl that was in the makeup made the head as a gag.
Oh, well, then I missed that all completely. I thought it was one of the victims.
Hats off. Did this high schooler read Tom Savini's makeup magic book? Because everything she did was like the highest end makeup I've ever seen.
I take it you like this, Ted. Did you enjoy this?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean,
right?
I don't want to watch it again, but it's fun. I'm going to give it a pretty decent score.
All right, I'm breaking this down, and I probably should have said something. I'm going to break this down in 2 categories. Horror, because I think it's, you got to have a specific genre. So if I throw out a number that seems like, oh, wow, it's a horror movie, right? So
it's not judged on the same standards.
Yeah,
unless it's made by A24, it's not like art. Horror.
Yeah, I'm going to go there. And then I'm just going to give it a general overall number because, I grew up in the days of Freddy and Jason, and that was some hardcore horror movie stuff. The stuff like this, I just, Children of the Corn. I mean, this is. I don't know. I mean,
tame
compared, yeah. I mean,
but I feel like it was a large nod to the movie Prom Queen or Prom Night that I'm sure you've seen.
I no, because it wasn't until this podcast came along, Ted. I pretty much avoided horror movies since high school.
I feel like it's a good nod to the slasher movies. But not as good as the slasher movies.
We've seen a few horror movies, so I'm not holding myself out to be an expert. I couldn't find any information on the budgets on this thing, and I'm just going to jump in there.
Pretty good.
And
I'd say, wouldn't you say probably 5?
Well, the previous 2, because this is a series, I've done 3 of them, and then since I guess the reception of those were so well, then they started, because the Fear Street was, I think, 3 pre-written, and then they started making them. And then because they did well, they said, oh, okay, let's just keep the Fear Street going. Here's somebody write us something. I guess they reached out to Matt Palmer here, who wrote and directed this, and said, hey, here's some money. Write us the next installment of Fear Street. And this is what he came up with. But the previous the numbers that I have read on the previous inclinations of this series ranged in the $7 to $9 million.
That makes sense.
Per.
That makes sense.
So I figure that that's what they put into this.
Yeah, this was probably a little easier because most of it's one location.
You know, the only highlight to this, Ted, was the acting for me. I thought everybody did really, really, really well for what it was. And
yeah, it was just, I think I understand what you're getting at. I think that the writing was okay, and the direction was like, let's get coverage.
I'm going to concur with that.
Like, no cool-looking shot happened. It was just like, let's get coverage.
Again, this isn't my bag. This isn't my thing. I don't get excited going into horror movies. And so, you know, I went into it going, okay, let's do it. I mean, I'm not afraid of them anymore. And because, the last few have been pretty kind of softball when it came to horror. Again, I'm just going back to my high school days and middle school days of Jasons and Freddys, and this stuff's weak.
Yeah, it's like a watered down version of that.
There's no edge. I mean, what's that commercial? Who is it? It's an insurance company, or where they use the slasher movies part of it.
Yeah,
it's not. It's let's run into the shed of dangling chainsaws and hide behind those.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah, well, I think those commercials are scarier than this stuff, and it makes more sense then too. I don't know. I just, I think the highlight for me was the acting, and I thought the script was not that great because there was a lot of movie magic, and let's just shoot and ignore it. Okay, yeah. We'll fix it in post. I
thought all the acting was good, and I concur with you. I do know Catherine Waterston. She did great. She was the mom of the main Wolfpack girl.
Okay, yeah, right.
Chris Klein, Chris Ostreicher from American Pie. What was he doing?
I was... This is how my mind works, okay? When I saw him in this, I was like, oh my God, where has this guy been? Right? Where? I mean...
Do you want to hear my funny story about him?
So, please, go ahead.
So when I used to live in L.A. and I had some nice heat behind me and was doing some big auditions, I had an audition for this short-lived show called Golden Boy. And there's no way I was going to get it. They gave it to that handsome 50 Shades of Grey guy. And there's a bunch of known actors in there. We're all in a room. And Chris Klein, who hasn't been relevant in 15 years. This is 9 years ago, 10 years ago.
Uh-huh.
He sat outside instead of coming inside in his car until the casting assistant had to leave the room and go out and get him and bring him in so that we didn't all talk to him. Keep in mind, you saw Bring It On, right?
Yes.
The guy in Bring It On,
right.
Jesse, I forget his name, but he's had more of a career.
Right.
Like, he still does stuff.
Right.
He came out of the audition right before he came in, and he goes, don't worry, guys, I got it. It's cool. Everybody can leave. And he goes, I'm just kidding. And he walked out, and I'm like, okay, you're a normal person. You're funny.
Right.
And then this guy comes in with this little satchel on his notebook and walks in there, and I'm like, what is going on?
This is a formality, guys. I don't even know why you're here.
It just cracked me up because I was like, do you think that your American Pie ass is still relevant?
I think him being in this movie puts it in perspective. What's your buddy? I say your buddy. Well, the guy who lives here in Nashville that was the little skinny guy that was in Carved.
DJ Qualls?
Yeah, DJ Qualls,
DJ Qualls has a much more decorated career
That's
than
what
Chris
I'm going.
Klein.
That's where I'm going.
Chris Klein, you are not DJ Qualls. Let me tell you something. DJ Qualls To this day, DJ Qualls is straight offer. He didn't audition for much. Like, they give him the part.
Well, he's doing a lot of these podcasts now. Maybe we could, hey, DJ, if you're listening, man.
Well, he pops up all the time, but that's the truth. That dude has been working for years.
Come talk to us. Sit down. Let's review a movie with us. That would be awesome.
Chris Klein's picture on IMDb, I'm like...
Yeah, it's 15 years ago, right?
I mean, he did this movie that I love. Just Friends, the Christmas movie with Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
He's hilarious. Best he's ever been in anything. But
yeah, no, I mean, it's like, where's he been?
It's also like, did you not... I taught a acting workshop, and I was like, match the tone of the lead. You're not the lead. The kids are. Match their tone. You seem like you were in a sitcom. Everything he did, I was like, did you do a bump in your dressing room? Why are you so fired up?
Oh, yeah. I was one, surprised to see him nonetheless, and didn't rattle my cage, his performance but again, my big problem was this movie was so nonsensical. I mean, it was just, I have to live in some sort of footing of reality, right? Mm-hmm. And when you have so many people getting killed and nobody gives a crap, I mean, we don't live in that world.
No, it's like they just move on. I mean, also, like, just not to ruin anything, and I'm not going to give away the ending and who the person is, but like...
Or persons.
Right, it's not a superhero. And there's multiple capable people, that if this person grabbed a hold of you, you would mess them up.
Yeah.
Every single one of the teenage boys would beat the living crap out of the killer or killers.
There was just nothing. I mean, I was laughing because, the first student, and I'm using air quotes here, that went missing, right? There was no big, oh my gosh, at school, the next day or the 2 days later or 3 days later, where is she or he, well, whatever it was, and I'm not going to give that away. But, let's get a search party together and let's meet over at Becky's house and see if we can find it. And, I don't know. I would think in this day and age that the school board would be considering shutting down the system altogether.
I concur.
I mean, they close school when it gets too cold here.
Shut the town down.
And that's just one. When multiples go missing, anyway. Well, I'm gonna look at something real quick here. I want to see what the synopsis on this is. Because
I got it.
I want to know
when the it girls competing for prom queen at Shady Side High start to disappear, a gutsy outsider discovers she's in for one hell of a prom night.
I wondered if they and here I'm going to go to Wikipedia because it probably has a more thorough plot. Oh my God, yeah, right? And it does. And then let's see. Right, going here. Oh, they tell the whole story here on Wikipedia.
Yeah, you can't look at Wikipedia. They do on everyone.
They do, yeah. It's written by anybody. It's submitted and it gets approved or not. Would it be a stretch for me to tell why these kids are getting killed?
Well, no, I think you're supposed to know that because you watched the other three movies. Because of the town they live in.
Okay, so I'm not, and you're not going to get upset with me if I say that the reason that these kids are getting killed is because there is an individual or individuals that want a certain person.
Don't say it. I think that gives it away.
Do
Don't
you?
do it. Yeah, I do. Don't give it away.
All right.
Come on, that's part of it. You don't know that till like the last 15 minutes. Don't give it away.
I'm not. I'm just. Well, that's why I was asking you because, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I bet 70% of our listeners out there are like me, and they don't get excited about horror movies when they come on. So they're just listening to us to listen to us. I mean, there's a guy going down the street right now listening to our podcast, and he's going, tell me. I'm not going to watch the damn movie. Just tell me.
I think it gives a lot away.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, what am I giving away? I'm giving away something that nobody's going to watch.
Okay, hey, guys, listeners, the killers want one of the certain prom queens to win.
There you go. Ted's. Okay, so.
Spoiler.
No, it's not really a spoiler, but because here's my thought process on this, Ted. When that was revealed of the reason these people, and I guess you could just logic would say, prom queen, right? Fear Street prom queen. It's right there,
I mean, I would logically think that.
These individuals, which I'm not going to give that away, that are doing the killings, did they not realize that there's a much easier way to get the person that they want to be prom queen to become prom queen?
Yeah, but that's not a movie.
All you got to do is fix the votes.
But that's not a movie. It's magic.
Again, I just got to be. I gotta have a toe in reality.
Before we give scores, I just want to remind you.
Let's do that.
Who put this movie out?
This is Netflix.
Exactly.
This is a Netflix.
What do I always say about Netflix?
Well, here's the thing. Netflix and we just what was it? The Summer of '69 last week, right?
Which I enjoyed.
Wouldn't that? No, it was 2 weeks.
ago.
That was 2 weeks ago. So this is my theory on Netflix. They don't care.
They don't have to care.
They don't. There's no person at Netflix trying to take pride in programming there. Not after that. You're right, because it was Bad Thoughts, the Tom Segura thing, and then there's this, which I get this. This is different. It's a horror movie. It's in that genre and that vein, and people like it. And a certain sector of society likes horror, and you can't exclude them. I mean, it's genre specific, like a romantic comedy. Mm-hmm. But I don't think they care.
I agree.
I mean, they came in and they said, okay, here's the movie. Okay, how much is it? And they said, 11 million. I'll give you 9. Okay, we'll do it.
Because almost everyone you talk to that's a normal person goes, anything I ever have coming out, they go, when's it coming on Netflix? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe never.
Yeah.
I've never done a Netflix show. I've done a HBO show. I've done a Paramount show. I've done a couple of HBO shows. I've never done a Netflix.
Okay. But I just do. I think they don't care. I don't think they care. It's like, all right, it's like buying stock to them. It just, it's just, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow with it. I don't care. Oh, here's some money anyway. Mm-hmm. It just, anyway. All right, let's get to some numbers on this. We're going to break it down to 2 categories. It's a general movie and in the vein of horror. Now, if you're a non-horror person, my general score will be more important to you than my horror score will be. But I'm going to leave this up to Ted because he's got both of these categories or breakdowns in his wheelhouse, more so than me.
I would say as a horror movie, I would give this like a 6.9. And as a normal movie, I would give it like a 5.1.
Well, as a normal movie, I was a 3.8 on this, and in the genre of horror, I was going 5.6.
I think for the two of us, that's right on point.
So
the 2 scores, because what is my 50? Remember? What is my 50?
Yeah, participation trophy.
Yeah. I do think it was produced well and acted well and that stuff.
All right, and not that it has any bearing, and I'm just looking for the first time here. All right, let's see here. Tomato meter on this, which is the critics, they're 27%. The popcorn meter, which is the audience, they're 27%.
So we're both really nice.
We're being and again, I'm really put off on the tomato meter, Rotten Tomatoes, because they gave that Summer of '69 a 96 score. I mean that's on Golden Pond level of.
It's pretty
true. I mean, this is out. It's like, what was better, Summer of '69 or Out of Africa? I don't know.
Well, the meta score is 43, and I would say that's right where.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's pretty normal.
Yeah, and IMDb came in at 5.2. So, I'm a don't watch. I mean, if you like horror and you want to laugh because you'll find this humorous to a degree. Right? No?
If you like horror, give it a watch.
Right?
But if you don't, if you like hardcore horror, don't give it a watch.
We should have had Aaron Mertz on for this.
Oh, I bet he hated this.
We should have had, and we got to remember this next time we put a horror movie in our wheelhouse. We need to bring in Mr. Mertz. And for those of you that don't know, Aaron Mertz. He's a sci-fi guy. I mean, he's or sci-fi. He's a horror guy. And Ted and I both we know him to a degree. He's a local guy.
I'm working on a writing project that we're both writing parts of right now.
Well, there you go. All right,
an anthology, a horror anthology. I'm working on that with him, and we're both writing. His was the one he wrote is massively hardcore horror, dark.
Well, I'm sitting here looking at his thing and his it's not his IMDb, but his CV of sorts, and I mean he's got like 28 films to his credit, and Aaron is 30,
maybe.
I mean, so
he does about 3 a year.
It's just amazing. I mean, so but anyway, there we go.
Next time,
since you're working with him, you're up. You gotta set the. Now I want to find a horror movie for us to watch. Just to have Aaron on the show.
We'll have another good one this summer.
There we go. All right, I'm a don't watch. Don't waste your time. Again, unless you're a horror person, you'll probably laugh at this. I didn't get scared one bit.
I didn't get scared either.
I mean, there was nothing in there that made my hair stand up.
I was entertained.
And these hardcore horror movie guys, they would look at this and they would find, scenes and the way they were put together kind of funny, I would think.
Yeah.
Right? All right, everybody. We appreciate you listening, and tell your friends, subscribe, all that good stuff. You know what to do. Till next week, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Ted.